A bunch of kids in a treehouse. Slingshots, toilet humor, battle against grown-ups for the right to stay up past bedtime. Got it. Saturday morning cartoon. Easy. But let me give you guys a second to process this one. The 5 villains the show built itself around, the delightful children from down the lane, they're actually 5 kids, 5 specific named kids. Bruce, David, Lenny, Constance, and Alessandra, members of Sector Z of the Kids Next Door, permanently mind-wiped and physically fused into one creepy unit by their commanding officer's evil brother, after their team got captured during a mission and put through a machine called the Delightfulization Chamber. That is the show. That's the show you watched when you were 8, and honestly, I genuinely don't think most of you knew that. I didn't know that. I had to go through and start work on this video before I figured that out. It's actually insane, the lore that Warburton stuffed into a show that the algorithm has spent 20 years filing under kids' comedy. So today, I want to walk you through 10 things this show is secretly doing that you almost certainly never clocked. And by the end of the video, I promise you, you will never, ever look at the delightful children the same way again.
You missed a spot.
How come he never has to paint?
So if you watched the cancellation of Billy and Mandy video here on the channel, you already know about a Cartoon Network competition called The Big Pick. But if you didn't, it was basically Cartoon Network's version of American Idol, but for cartoons. They would air a marathon of pilot episodes, audiences would vote, and the winner got greenlit as a full series. The first one, in 2000, was won by Maxwell Adams' Grim and Evil, which became The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, which I already discussed. It's already a banger show. Now, what you might not know is that Codename Kids Next Door came out of The Big Pick 2 the very next year, the same competition, second round in 2001. Tom Warburton's pilot beat the field, got greenlit, and the show premiered the following year on Cartoon Network. But here's the kicker. Warburton wasn't actually pitching Codename Kids Next Door at all. What he was pitching in 1998 was an unsold short called Kenny and the Chimp, produced at Hanna-Barbera. Yes, Hanna-Barbera, a weird little surreal cartoon about a kid named Kenny, voiced by Tom Kenny. Yes, SpongeBob and his pet chimp. And right next to Kenny lived these 5 obnoxious other kids who were always getting up in his business. Those kids were called Those Kids Next Door. The network passed on Kenny, but by the time Warburton got to The Big Pick 2, 3 years later, the side characters had eaten the show. Those Kids Next Door became Sector V. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. The whole gang that you remember. They started life as a comic relief in a completely different cartoon, and that's just the production origin. The actual show is where it gets insane. So quick thing to add, but it matters. Every single episode of Kids Next Door is titled Operation Acronym, and every letter in the acronym is the first letter of a word. And those words spell out the plot of the episode. They're not random, they're not vibes based, they are real, structured acronyms.
So Operation Z.E.R.O stands for Zombies Escape Really Obviously.
Interviews stands for It's Now the Extra Really Very Interesting End Wrap-Up Story. Operation Graduates stands for, and this is real, I am not making this up,
Gargantuan Rays Advance Decimates Unprepared and Terrified Escaping Soldiers.
81 episodes, 81 custom backronyms. And every episode title card opens with the same red stamp graphic that literally treats the show like it's a classified military document. Like the show is aware it's a fictional military organization and it is committed to it visually. On a Saturday morning cartoon for 7-year-olds. It's fantastic. So here's where the mythology starts to bite. Every Kids Next Door operative, every single one, is decommissioned on their 13th birthday. They walk into a chamber, the chamber wipes their memory, they walk out a teenager with 0 recollection of ever being in the Kids Next Door. They don't remember their friends, they don't remember their missions, they don't remember the treehouse, it's just gone. And here's the part that most viewers never quite let themselves think about. Decommissioning is functionally death. The person walks out, the operative is gone. Memory wipe is the closest thing to mortality this show has, and the show treats it that way. Operatives mourn their friends being decommissioned. Several episodes are explicitly about the dread of turning 13 in a children's cartoon about a treehouse. The show is asking a real question about identity and aging. Are you still you if your memories are taken? That is the question, and the show just keeps asking it. All right, so this one is crazy. Long before the events of the show, there was a Sector Z. 5 operatives just like Sector V. Their names confirmed across episodes. Concept art in the franchise's Rainbow Monkey tie-in website were Bruce, David, Lenny, Constance, and Alessandra. They served under the command of an operative named Number Z.E.R.O, the founder and original leader of the modern Kids Next Door. Sector Z was captured during a mission by the show's main villain, Father. Father, by the way, we're getting to in a second, Father strapped Sector Z into a machine called the Delightfulization Chamber. The chamber was supposed to brainwash the kids into being polite, well-behaved, child supremacist nightmare children. Like a Stepford treatment, basically. Except the machine overloaded while they were inside, and the overload permanently fused them physically, mentally, and socially into the delightful children from down the lane. The 5 kids you've been watching this show, the ones that always speak in unison, the ones that act like one creepy hive mind kid, they aren't a hive mind because they're spooky, they're a hive mind because they used to be 5 separate KND operatives who got brainwashed and mind melded into a single horrifying unit by their commanding officer's evil brother. That's the actual backstory for a reoccurring villain on a Saturday morning cartoon in 2003 for children. And it gets worse because the show drops this reveal in Operation Graduates, and a few other episodes also confirm it. And then it just keeps going. Sector V never restores Sector Z. The delightful children stay fused. They just lose. They lost a long time ago, and they're not even aware of it. That voice, that single fused voice, 5 kids in there, and none of them remember.
The delightful children from down the lane.
Well, if it isn't the kids next door.
So remember when I said Father's brother? Yeah, about that. The main villain of KND is a guy literally called Father. Silhouette suit, shadow for skin, controls fire, genuinely terrifying. His real name is Benedict Uno, and here's where it gets nuts. Father is the brother of Monty Uno, also known as Number Z.E.R.O, the founder and original leader of the Kids Next Door. The bad guy is the founder's brother, and it goes deeper. Both Benedict and Monty are the sons of a guy who, in his own time, ruled the world. His name is Grandfather, and Grandfather is no joke. He is the most terrifying figure in the entire KND universe. In his prime, Grandfather literally enslaved every child on Earth and forced them to work in his tapioca factories. I'm not making any of this up. This is actual canon for Kids Next Door. And the way Monty defeated him was by finding the legendary book of the KND, the founding document of the Kids Next Door, basically their constitution, and using it to lead the first global kids rebellion against his own father. He became Number Z.E.R.O. Adult Monty Uno is Number One's dad, and Number One has spent the whole show fighting his uncle without ever knowing. This is a Greek tragedy with slingshots, dude. Then you have the TV movie Operation Z.E.R.O. It aired August 11th, 2006, was 85 minutes long, co-directed by Tom Warburton and Guy Moore. The official series finale was still a year and a half away, but this is the movie where Warburton paid off most of the mythology in Operation Z.E.R.O. Father, or Benedict, find a ways to resurrect Grandfather, the old man, the original villain. And Grandfather is so much stronger than Father that he basically just rolls Father aside and starts reenacting his original plan: enslave every child on Earth. Calm down, Epstein. Tapioca factories open for business again. The KND is completely outgunned, and the only way to stop Grandfather is to bring back the one person who beat him the first time. Number Z.E.R.O, Monty Uno, Number One's dad, who is, of course, decommissioned. He has no idea any of this is real. So Number One has to restore his own father's memories to save the world, knowing that the moment he does it, he reveals to his dad that he himself is part of an organization his dad helped found, and that his uncle is its arch enemy, and that his entire family is at the center of a multi-generational conspiracy that he never asked to be a part of. But he does it. They save the world. Grandfather goes down. And then, this is the gut punch. Monty destroys the recommissioning module himself. He chooses to forget. He tells his son that he would rather be a good father than a hero. He drops the memories and walks away. That's the choice the show makes him make. Forgetting is a sacrifice. Forgetting is the price of being a good dad. And that's a Saturday morning cartoon on Cartoon Network. That is what I'm talking about. These are the kind of stories that can shape a childhood. It's stories that I feel like are sadly neglected. I feel like children's media has gotten to this weird point where it's just brain dead. I hate the word slop, but I'm going to use it here for kids. Like I actively have started buying VHS tapes for my kids just to kind of show them different things that they just don't see anymore. Because let's be real, the YouTube algorithm and Netflix Kids and Disney Kids isn't really showing them stuff like Kids Next Door. So we get to the series finale, right? We have come this far. And buckle in, I am not kidding. Operation Interviews, which stands for It's Now the Extra Really Very Interesting End Wrap-Up Story, because of course it does, aired January 21st, 2008, the series finale. The structure of the episode, and this is genius, interviews with number 1 through 5, temporarily recommissioned as adults. They're reflecting on number 1's final mission. We're hearing about Nigel's last day from people whose memories have been briefly restored for the interview. That alone is a wild choice for a series finale, but it gets bigger. In the middle of the episode, an alien-looking operative named number 74.239 approaches number 1 and tells him he has been selected for something called the Galactic Kids Next Door, an interplanetary anti-adult organization that operates across the entire universe. The GKND is not the only one. The GKND has never been the only one. There is a galactic scale version of the same organization fighting the same fight on other planets and other species. And then, this is the one that broke me as an adult. Number 74.239 reveals that number 1's mother was an operative too, codename number 999, specifically the first female operative in the 7th age of the Kids Next Door. The 7th age, which means there was 6 previous ages of this organization. The GKND has existed for generations, possibly thousands of years, possibly even older than that. And number 1 leaves. He boards the spaceship. He never returns, and the show ends. That is one of the most ambitious series finales any 2000s cartoon has ever attempted. And I'm gonna level with you. I don't think most people who watched this show have ever sat with what they were actually told in that episode, because the show was packaged as a kid's cartoon. The finale lands as, oh, neat sci-fi twist, cool. But what Warburton was actually doing was opening the universe up sideways, recontextualizing 6 seasons, promising more, setting up a sequel that almost happened. And that's where it gets really interesting. So after the show ended, Warburton kept pitching. On February 21st, 2013, he posted a storyboard close-up to his blog, Warburton Labs, explicitly noting that the art was from a scrapped live-action GKND movie. He's never said publicly why it died. No interviews confirm the kill date or the studio note that ended it, but it's not hard to read the room. The Powerpuff Girls movie had bombed in 2002. Ed, Edd n Eddy's theatrical movie got demoted to a TV movie in 2009. Samurai Jack's movie got shopped to 3 studios and rejected all 3 times. Cartoon Network had effectively gotten out of the theatrical movie business by the early 2010s. The GKND movie went into the same drawer with all the others. And we'll come back to that drawer in a different video. The canceled spin-offs piece, there is a lot in there, let me tell you. So this one is actual current news. So Warburton has spent the last decade pitching a follow-up series titled Galactic Kids Next Door, picking up directly from the finale. Nigel on the spaceship, the whole thing. Cartoon Network has passed on it multiple times. So on March 19th of 2015, Warburton did something unusual. He worked with former crew to produce an unofficial animatic, basically a storyboard with temp voiceover pitch, and secretly released it online. The framing was clearly, if the network won't greenlight this, maybe the fan base can. So on April 1st, 2015, a fan-made petition went up on change.org, signed by Warburton himself, signed by D. Bradley Baker, who voiced number 4. And the animatic is dark. The Galactic Kids Next Door turn out to be genocidal. They don't view adulthood as a transition. They view it as a disease that needs to be eradicated. And their mission isn't to fight grown-ups, it is to wipe them out. Nigel's new mission is to help. Lizzie, who is his girlfriend from the show, turns out to be an undercover alien named Number Vine. The whole thing is a total hard left turn. And now the news, as of 2026, the Galactic Kids Next Door project is finally being produced. Not at Cartoon Network, not at Netflix, at Newgrounds. Yeah, that Newgrounds. The same Newgrounds you spent your middle school years on. They've been building out a streaming service. They are commissioning animation, and Warburton's Galactic Kids Next Door is officially headed there for release 23 years after KND premiered. The sequel is finally happening on a website that was big when Kids Next Door premiered and is somehow still there. And that is just incredible. I love this. I love that this is the timeline we are getting. So look, here's what I keep coming back to with the show. Tom Wharton built a real intricate multi-generational mythology. The Uno family, decommissioning as death, Sector Z, the Galactic War, and he buried most of it in a show that nobody was looking at as serious world building. The Delightful Children's actual origin gets dropped in a single backstory episode. The KND existing for 7 ages gets a one-line mention in the finale. Most people who watched this show in 2007 were 8 years old and watching for food fights. The fact that there was a Greek tragedy with slingshots running underneath the whole thing is something you have to come back to as an adult to see. And honestly, that's the trick. Warburton trusted his audience to grow up and find this stuff later. He left it there for us. And it's the reason that 20 years on, this show still has one of the most devoted, lore-obsessed fan bases of any Cartoon Network property of its era. The Galactic Kids Next Door coming back to Newgrounds in 2026 feels less like nostalgia and more like Warburton finally getting to finish the sentence he started back in January of 2008. And I cannot wait. Hit subscribe if you want to see more deep dives like this. I'll catch you in the next one. I'm gonna go this way.